So I'm going to be doing a interesting video that's literally like we're several months away from this idea. I mean this season of Halloween Horror Nights, but yeah, it's always kind of fun to revisit this because I really love Halloween Horror Nights. So I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about the rumored houses and scare zones for this year's Halloween Horror Nights. And then I'm going to talk about my ideas. And as always, if you have ideas, please leave them in the comments below. I'm always excited to hear yours. So let's talk about the rumored Halloween Horror Nights houses and whatnot. And that is, the first one we have is Nope, which I think is a very strong possibility because August is the premiere date for that. I think it's August or July, but it is like late summer, so it is right before like September when Halloween Horror Nights rolls around. So there is that possibility that it is probably Nope, because yeah, we did have Us. I don't think we have one on Get Out, but we did have one on Us. So that's, I think Nope is a strong possibility. I have also heard that there's going to be a new Beetlejuice one, which I'm interested in because I think Beetlejuice did very well at the haunted house. Like it was it had the same reaction of Ghostbusters, where it was kind of like family. It almost felt family friendly and just kind of like fun. So I do think having it revisited is a neat idea. I have also heard that another major one will be Fear Street, which again I think that one's very big in the running of having a haunted house based on all of Fear Street, the entire Fear Street trilogy. Like each part of the house is set in the different parts. So I don't know what order they do, so who knows. But I think that one is a strong one because they did have Hill House. They've of course had Stranger Things for God knows how many times now. It's the new Walking Dead. But Fear Street does look like a good front runner because they are taking a lot of Netflix IPs. I would like to see one centered around Train to Busan, but I'll get to that in a moment. So Fear Street is another rumored one. Again, they always want to look for Netflix horror ones. I will say that another one that has been talked about, and this is the one that's like, really? Why this one? And it's something with the artist The Weeknd. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy The Weeknd. He's one of my non-favorite metal artists. But nothing about The Weeknd screams Halloween. Like maybe I think what they like when they say, I don't think he's going to get a Halloween like scare zone or haunted house, but I think he's going to compose music for Halloween Horror Nights. I think like that's one of the possibilities because they keep bringing up The Weeknd, and I'm like, well, you're not talking about The Weeknd of Halloween Horror Nights. I think you're talking about The Weeknd, the artist. So, and I think it's like, and not to say like he can't do scary. Like there's some weird imagery and dark imagery in some of his music videos. But I don't see him as like a horror icon, like a music icon. And you may be thinking, well, what are you talking about? They've had music icons in, music artists in haunted houses. Like, yeah, Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie, and Slash. Literally people you associate with Halloween. The Weeknd is nothing. There's nothing like that screams spooky season about The Weeknd. It's the same thing with like when they were going to like one of the possible houses before the pandemic was Billie Eilish. And yeah, Billie Eilish does have Bad Guy and a few other songs that are just like kind of dark. Nothing about that says Halloween to me. And no disrespect to the fans of Billie Eilish, I'm just saying, like, I just don't see it. Same thing with The Weeknd. I like The Weeknd. I really like his work. But nothing about it. Now, if he does like compose music, like I do think he'd probably I think the strongest one is that he'd probably compose music for Halloween Horror Nights. I think that's the stronger possibility here. I do think that's the more likely scenario in this situation. That's what I think, honestly. That's what I think is more of the case. Let's see what else. What was the other one I've heard has been tossed around? But those are the three big ones. Now for other houses, now let's get into the houses I'd like to see. Like houses I think would be cool. I do think also, by the way, we are probably going to get another Universal Monster house because they've been kind of making a huge they put real effort in the latest Universal Monster houses. And I think obviously with Invisible Man and obviously Renfield coming out next year in February, I believe, yeah, they're going to put effort in those films. And also, you have another film they're going to be doing with Dracula in January, so yeah, they're probably going to have another Universal Monster House. Like, I've heard this one, like, I've heard rumors that the next one would be more focused on the Mummy. I've heard, like, that's the big thing, is that if there is going to be another one, it is going to be centered around the Mummy, because yeah, we had one on the Bride of Frankenstein. I think, like, the theme going forward is that the Universal monsters are each going to get their own house for every year, instead of, like, all of them collabing in one big room. So I can't wait to see what they'll do with as much as I love the Invisible, like, I'd love to see an Invisible Man haunted house, I kind of want a Phantom of the Opera house, because I think that, like, what they could do with that character in a haunted house for Halloween Horror Nights would be pretty fucking epic. So let's get into some ideas for houses for me. Now, one big house, if we want to go by artist, and this is an artist that is known for pop, but there is one song that we all know that guy to be for Halloween. It's a Halloween song we use constantly. Yeah, it's Michael Jackson. I think it would be so cool to have a haunted house centered around Thriller, like an entire haunted house centered around the Thriller music video. Like the opening, like the show building can literally be the theater that Michael walks out of in the music video. Like, it's like Michael Jackson's Thriller. You go in, and the opening scene is the movie, like the movie with and you have the werecat that Michael turns into, like, pop out in the forest scenes. Then you go onto the street, you get zombies, and you keep hearing, like, Thriller in the background. And yeah, you can even get jump scares to, like, zombie Michael, stuff like that. And the ending scares, you walk out, can be Michael with the yellow eyes, like at the end of the music video. Perfect. Right there. Like, there's your music video. Like, there's your if you wanted a hip hop artist in here. But I get it. I imagine the Michael estate probably asks for a lot of money, but I think Universal's good for it. And in knowing the amount of work they put into those haunted houses, I think it'd be worth it. So, Michael Jackson's Thriller. Going on to our next artist-themed haunted house, Ghost. Ghost is perfect for a Universal Halloween Horror Nights music, just haunted house. Like, you could literally make it look like the facade, like one of the cathedrals in the music videos you see. And you could do references to Monsters Clock. You could do one to Circe. You could do references in the haunted house. The word keeps getting away from me, sorry. With, like, you can do with references to, like, Rats and Dance Macabre, and have all the music playing. Dude, it's perfect. Like, a Ghost BC haunted house would be completely perfect. And I know people who are watching this are going, yeah, why haven't we gotten Ghost? Like, why haven't we gotten Ghost haunted house? Like, I want that. Anyway, so moving on to our next one. And this is one I thought we'd get, and I think we were going to get had it not been for the world going to shit. And that is Candyman. Now, the reason why I think... Now, this is one I think is also, real quick, I do think that's another possibility that we may get this one, because... and if you're wondering why we get, like, Candyman and, like, Chucky haunted houses for last year, it was mostly because those haunted houses we had were meant for 2020, but 2020 being 2020, it pushed everything back. So they just still had those. There's like, fuck it, we'll just use that. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure had, the pandemic not destroyed the world, we would have probably had in 2021, like, Chucky and Candyman houses. But yeah, I do think it's high time. Like, the whole time I've been thinking, it's like, it's not just now, like, obviously with the new movie that came out last year, why haven't we gotten a Candyman house, period? Because that's under Universal. Like, I legit think we should just get one by now. Like, it's been way overdue. Like, it's been way overdue for decades. And I think it's a disservice. Like, you could base it off the new movie, or you can make it a mixture of the new movie and the original movie. There's a lot of ways you could do this. Or, like, it'd be kind of cool, like, maybe you can mix and match and do, like, bits of the original 90s film, and then take it to, since you do have a lot of stuff from Mardi Gras, you can add a little bit of part 2 in there, Farewell to Flesh. I'm just saying. Also, backtracking, because I forgot to mention another artist I would love to see get a haunted house in here, and that is Ice Nine Kills. Yeah, Ice Nine Kills would be perfect. Like, they had a scare zone. It'd be a great way to bring back some nostalgia, because the original scare zone was called Welcome to Horrorwood. So I think that'd be kind of cool as, like, maybe a scare zone where it's Ice Nine Kills themed, and you have Spencer's, like, killer face out there, and, like, people who look like the band would be out there, like, on a scare zone. Yeah. I'm really hoping Ice Nine gets to do Halloween Horror Nights at some point, because you know Spencer would be all over that. Getting back to other ideas, I'd like to see a Chucky House, a new one center, and it could be, like, again, it could be and I think this is another possibility we could get it, because season 2 is coming around that same time, so we could get a nice haunted house that's centered around season 1, and then we get season 2. I don't want a Texas Chainsaw House, because the reason being, because that movie burned me so bad, and I know if they did do another Texas Chainsaw House, it would be based off that trash fire we had and not the original 70s one. Yeah. As for other houses I would really like to see done, I think it would be kind of cool. And this might be might like take people, but like and most of you might go, wow, for real? Yes, for real. I want a leprechaun house. Like Candyman, it's been way overdue to get a leprechaun house, and leprechaun's under Universal. Yeah, like. And I know what you're thinking. There's no way it would work. There's no way you could get it to work. Well, that's the same thing with, like, a haunted house based off of Beetlejuice or Ghostbusters. You could do something... Well, yeah, Leprechaun is a little more gorier than those two properties, but it's also has that fun to it. It has that kind of aura of, like, fun. And, yeah, they did do a leprechaun... They did have leprechauns in a haunted house once of the holiday horrors. I think they could just do that St. Patrick's Day section and blow it up with Leprechaun. And the facade could literally be the house from the first movie. You go in there and you just hear, "I want me gold." Sorry, Warwick. Yeah, I think it's been way overdue that we've had I'm surprised we've never gotten a single leprechaun house. It blows my mind. I also think another one that should be considered is Gremlins. Now, this is one that's been talked about a lot for the past 5 years for a Gremlins house, but I think it's high time we get one. I think, like, just to kind of run in that whole thing of, like I said, Beetlejuice and Ghostbusters, where, yeah, it's a little more violent, but it's still like a family-friendly one, and you could, like, if you bring kids, which you shouldn't, to Halloween Horror Nights, by the way, bad parenting on you, he says, having no children, excuse me, yeah, he says while having no children, yeah, it's like, yeah, don't bring your kids to Halloween Horror Nights, no, but what I'm saying is like, it's kind of a little more, like, less scary. Like, if this is your first time going to Halloween Horror Nights, the critter, like, I keep trying to say critters, but Gremlins, the Gremlins house, I think, would be, like, a great intro, and then you can get into the other ones. Like, it'd be a nice little, like, appetizer, or, like, trying to get you into like, your friends trying to get you into a haunted house, they're like, take them to the Gremlins house, or fucking take them to the Leprechaun house. Yeah. Also, I'm really hoping... I really want this, because we are getting Halloween Ends. I want a new Halloween house based off of the new timeline. I would really love a haunted house. Now, obviously, they can't do Halloween Ends, because that would spoil the movie. But what they could do, and they do kind of own the rights to Michael, what they could do is a Halloween film, like a Halloween haunted house that follows the 2018 movie and Kills, and it's the combination of the two as you go through it. Excuse me. So yeah, that'd be kind of fun. I think that'd be a lot of fun. As for others, like maybe just some miscellaneous ones, just for shits and giggles, I would kind of like to see a house centered around maybe something a little more like obscure. I'd like to see a Phantasm house. Yeah, a Phantasm house would be fun. And a Wishmaster house. There you go. So you guys tell me in the comments below. Actually, no, I'll give you one more house, a haunted house idea, or a scare zone. This could work either way. I want a Tales from the Crypt haunted house. Because remember, the Crypt Keeper played a massive role in the first few years of Halloween Horror Nights. So it'd be kind of a nice little nod to him, and you could do like a haunted house, kind of like how they did the Creep Show house a little while back, of the Crypt Keeper, and you go through different episodes, and it's like the best of episodes. And each area, little section, is off of a different episode from the show. Or you can even add Demon Knight in there because that's a pretty awesome movie. Anyway, so rather than make this video too long, you guys tell me in the comments below what properties or IPs would you like to see become haunted houses or scare zones for the next Halloween Horror Nights. Just comment below, let me know. If you haven't already, head on over to my Patreon for exclusive content, and if you want, you can hit the 4th tier, which will give you all of that, and allow you to send me requests for me to do here on YouTube. But other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.